Now, yesterday, we showed you that Zack Snyder, he tweeted out the very first sneak peek, still kind of half under the tarp, of the Batmobile. And he said, more to become uncovered tomorrow. So we were kind of expecting a shot of the Batmobile. Now, yesterday, some buffoon at this table, I'm not going to name names, said, wouldn't it be cool if they actually showed Batman standing in front of the Batmobile? To which I rightfully replied, Schnepp, you ignorant slut. You fool. You moron. You optimistic nerd. Of course they're not going to show Batman standing in front of the Batmobile. And of course I was right. Oh, wait, I was wrong.
See, guys, in my amazing, just my brain, I don't know how it's magical how it works. I was going back to Michael Keaton and how a lot of people were like, had problems with Michael Keaton being cast as Batman. This is a lot before you guys were born. This was like back in 1988. And how they premiered him as Batman is I think it was an Entertainment Weekly. They premiered it in a magazine, a weekly magazine. This is before the internet worked.
It was made with paper.
Yeah, paper.
Yeah, old
papyrus
stuff.
from trees. But it was Michael Keaton in the full black outfit with the Batmobile, the really badass Tim Burton style Batmobile. And so, for some reason, yesterday when I saw that back end part and we were talking about it looks like the Tumbler and a little bit of Burton's Batmobile, I was like, wouldn't it be cool? I didn't think they would do it, but it makes sense.
No, own it, man. Own it. Say you knew.
Guys, I totally knew it was going to happen.
So let's bring up that picture. We're sitting here. Let's take a look at this picture. Dear heavens.
Yeah, so cool.
Dear heavens. How cool is that? Now, let's keep everything in perspective. Everything in perspective. We are talking about a picture. All right, so let's not get carried away. Let's not start talking about how awesome the movie's going to be and all this. We're talking about the picture, okay? But in talking about the picture, number one, Kevin Smith was bang on accurate. Remember a few months ago, Kevin Smith said he saw, Zack Snyder let him see the design of the outfit and he saw the costume and he described it to a T. That is so old school, classic Batman. It's really got a Dark Knight Returns kind of feel to it. I like the shorter, stubbier ears. Affleck obviously fills out the outfit. I mean, if you've seen some pictures that have been leaking out lately of Affleck in his daily workout routine, this guy is yoked.
Beast mode.
Is so beastly right now. Okay, well, let's talk about the Batmobile for a second. You guys take a look at the car. You're going to get a glimpse of the car. What do you guys think?
I think the car looks, from when they released the car yesterday, I was like, okay, good. Like the design so far. And then, like Mr. Schnepp said, then they released Batman today. And that was the thing. Because, again, you're right. It's just a picture. But let's look at even when the Green Goblin pictures came out. People right away, there was half and half people did not really like the way Dane DeHaan looked. Everyone's raving about this because, like you said, it looks to me, this reminds me of the video games as well, too, Arkham. You're looking at, and Affleck needed to look like Batman. He does.
Yeah.
And what's he thinking about? Right now, you know, what's he thinking about? Like, for me, it looks like he's sad that he's got to fight an alien. He can't figure out how to beat this alien. I cannot wait to see what happens.
That's exactly what I thought when I looked at his face. He's thinking, how do I beat this alien?
That's right. Yeah. I'm 1950s Batman. There are aliens, and I must go to their planet.
Soups. Gotta beat Soups.
I think it looks fantastic. It instantly calls back the Dark Knight Returns with the giant bat symbol, the snubby ears.
A very subtle bat symbol, too, that's barely embossed on the thing.
It just looks completely badass, and it goes along with the kind of the beefy look of the Batmobile. It's got a bit of that Tumbler flavor, but it also has a little bit of style, you know?
Yeah.
More style than, say, the Tumbler. The Tumbler was just pretty much like, hey, let's paint it black.
It was very blocky. And the Tumbler looked great in Nolan Field, don't get me wrong, but it was very blocky. This still feels like like an armored combat vehicle, but a little sleeker, some better
It's like a mixture of both.
Yes.
And the other thing, too, and this is probably just a coincidence, too, and a lot of people have been talking about it, but the wheel on the bottom left, it almost looks like a Joker face, like meets Riddler.
Some people were writing that to me saying, did you notice that they have that subtle... It's like, no, that's just an odd coincidence.
I think it's a coincidence, but it's a cool coincidence.
Yeah, the way the light is reflecting off the treads and stuff like that. I mean, look, I'll go on record and say this right now. This is a far better looking Batman than we had in the Nolan films.
Yeah.
This is a far better looking Batman. And you know me, and a lot of people argue with me about this, and that's cool, but my feelings have always been Bruce Wayne is supposed to be, in the DC Comics, the absolute pinnacle of human perfection physically. And as such, if you look at any artist's incarnation of Batman, he's monstrous, he's huge. And I have always kind of, as much as I liked Michael Keaton as Batman, very special place in my heart, as awesome as Christian Bale was as Batman, my one complaint that I always brought to it was, that's great, but it just doesn't really feel like the Batman I grew up reading, stuff like that, when he's about 100 pounds lighter than I'd like him to be. I look at this is the Batman, once again, just visually, this is the Batman I've been wanting to see on screen my whole life. I mean, once again, I don't want to sound like we're getting way ahead of ourselves. We are just talking about the picture and just talking about the look. I have no doubt that when the first pictures of Gal Gadot come out, she's gonna look awesome as Wonder Woman. Looks mean nothing.
I don't agree that it mean nothing though, because again, I agree with you that looks like the best Batman as far as looking wise. So it also means that creatively, what Zack Snyder's doing, then his head is in the right space and everyone else's head in the right space. So in regards to getting the look right, at a step. Is it the ultimate thing? I agree with you 100%, but I just think that that's cool, man. We're good. Let's just now, what's the voice going to sound like?
Well, yeah. What's the voice?
I don't think they're going to do the Screamo Batman. I seriously think my hope is that Ben Affleck is just he's gonna talk like Bruce Wayne, and then he's gonna talk like
a little deeper,
but not like some exaggeration. I think that Snyder loved The Dark Knight Returns, and I read an article recently where he was like, I would have loved to adapt to that when it first came out, and he's always thought that way in his mind.
He announced this film with a passage from The Dark Knight Returns.
This is definitely him taking a cue from The Dark Knight Returns, and they did an amazing The Dark Knight Returns animated adaptation. If you guys haven't seen that, Warner Brothers put out this amazing, in 2 parts, and then they combined it together. It's one of the best adaptations of a comic book animated that I've ever seen. It's fantastic. So I don't really personally, I don't need to see them ever make The Dark Knight Returns as a movie, but if we get some of that old Batman flavor, which is what they're doing, they're saying Batman was around before Superman, he retired, we don't know what happened, but that's kind of like, I think what they're saying with the Man of Steel, with him with the cape in those flashbacks, is maybe he's emulating Batman. I mean, that's what I believe Kevin Smith pointed that out a long time ago. But I think that this first photo of Batman and the Batmobile, now we have to wait 2 years.
Yeah.
That's the
now
bummer.
you gotta wait 2 years, and it should be. This should be said. You know, I've always, from day one that the announcement came out, we made our video about it. I have thought the casting of Ben Affleck, and I know I was in the minority. I thought the casting of Ben Affleck was genius. I think this is great. But I'm going to say this: if you're somebody who thinks that Ben Affleck won't do well as Batman, this picture should not change your mind, because once again, this is just the physical. If you've still got your apprehensions about how he's going to play as Batman, this means nothing, right? But I still stand by that I believe he's going to be great, and this to me is just a check mark in the pros and the cons aisles. This is in the pro column. I think even the biggest critics of Ben Affleck as Batman have to be looking at this picture and go, okay, I'll give it that.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, he looks like Batman.
All right, let's move on to the first official topic.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
When do we get the color version, yo? I mean, it's like, because now I'm like, oh, is that cowl like blue,
well,
like
that's
dark
the next
blue,
announcement. The whole film's going to be black and white. That's the next tweet tomorrow.
That wouldn't be that bad. If it looks like that, I'd be into it.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.